service.
It would be
utilised.
feeding a lot of stuff from there.
Right, rather than
So
DHB.
either one for one side, the other one there, a full replication between those two. So basically the power is enough there to run one server, one class. But we would like to do replication, so when students finish, they don't have to just finish it closed. If they're not finished, they can just go next door and there and actually carry on with that work. It's not going to affect next class.
What's the likelihood of that happening, that they would go next door and continue using that machine? What percentage of time would that happen?
Good question. Same as how many times would they would use any of these resources? It's very hard to know.
I would say if the point is centralised, where they really don't have an alternative other than a single point, rather than two different points all the time, that means that one of those points is definitely not being utilised very well. It's just statistical. As long as you
it's possible. It's possible. But we're also looking to create phrases giving us opportunity to bring in the internet connection. But we have to be able to manage it. And we have to be able to log it and monitor it. And we're not doing much on that yet until we get students back in September to find out what the exact needs are. Because it's brilliant to have access from outside, but it's a huge responsibility.
Yes, well, and
there's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't give you that responsibility.
I think that's a kind of lack of trust for some of the students. And I know, certainly in FE, or here in HE, I think you have to be quite blunt. When I did a talk for the Networking Society, and the last part of the talk was, if we went for an external connection, network connection, like through Virgin or something like that, I asked the questions, would they understand their responsibilities and what would happen if they screwed things up? You know, if they did something that they know they shouldn't do, either in terms of legislation or in terms of the policy here, do they understand their responsibilities? And that they are the individuals that will get clubbed for it. Nobody else will. They will potentially go to jail if they do something out of the ordinary. Which is like the hacking lab is, you know.
That's exactly what we're saying, but this decision is not us here at all.
It's a Fraser.
Decision, no, it's not even Fraser. It's the execs and institutional policy.
Okay.
And even he's saying he doesn't have a problem. He doesn't have a problem trusting us and trusting you guys. We just have to have as you normally do, a policy, awareness, this is it. And we might need to put one or two posters here, you know, used by, you know, from here, but you've got to.
Just have a number of training seminars, just to train
but
people.
even then, we would have it part of induction and part of, but even then, things would happen and go wrong.
Yeah,
But we would be there together to support that, what's happened and why, and try and improve. Because none of this is 100% secure.
No,
and nothing. So the only place things are secure is when you have it off completely. So we're not saying.
But that is the challenge.
No.
That's the fun of the challenge. To do the best that you can. It's not perfect. It's not perfection, but to get somewhere close to where you need to be, both in terms of if we have an external connection and the firewalls and all the hardening systems, or it's the cluster or whatever it is. I think that's the exciting bit. That's the thing that makes it really good fun. I think you've got such a massive learning curve, and every time somebody, you know, and people will come up with something that you've never thought about before, that will have learned something online or done something, and you deal with that, you know, whatever the outcomes are, the outfall is, and then you say, right, okay, well this happened, next time, these are the policies we need to avoid that for the next time.
And, well, that's the
and in 3 years' time down the line, college will be like.
Exactly what Fraser's saying. So we're not putting any obstacles. We're just approaching as every institution would.
I mean, I've seen down
going to work
at Salford and I've seen Leeds, and they have a similar kind of system. They use clustered systems. So it's not like I'm suggesting anything unique. This is how they work. They have clustered resources, parallel processing resources, that students can just access at will, both internally and externally, when they need to do a specific job. They have, you know, all permissions and rights and everything that
the only thing in there that they need is creating the right protocol and access obviously in there, which is good.
I think so. Yeah.
We're not disagreeing with anything. But the reason why 2, or 4 or 3 is because it's much easier on this to add things than it is to take away. And this is the simple reason.
Not necessarily. As with the Hadoop file system, because it's self-building, the way it works is that you can remove the nodes. It's redundant in that respect, so it's not a problem.
You can,
yeah.
But as long as it's not utilising any of the particular resources, and if it does, you would have to redo the build.
What if we
bring it back?
What if we used all 4 servers, on 2 of them, we allocated, say, half the drive space to do something that you're talking about, so that the roles are split so they can be dual booted almost, or split booted. That way, when you're not utilising those resources, they could be added to the cluster as a resource.
To be honest, the idea further down the line is to automate the systems up, so when things are needed, it scales up and scales down. But that's the really long term.
Seems strange.
I don't think we will be here.
The college's resources, at the moment, when they push the apps across the network for standard coursework, lesson material, that comes from DHP, correct? So why would you want to swap from that system and have 2 servers that could be utilised for other things when they can do it over there automatically? They already have those resources.
They can't because the whole point of using those is that we have full control.
It's about you control.
And we would not be given that control. Therefore, it would just be a long process, a lot longer than what we would need. So we would need something to plan now for September, and we would closely work like you doing in here, and they would come to be in September, it would not be ready, or it would need this approval, whatever else, and it would just work. It would be working out.
Why, I've got to ask, why you would hold control?
Because we would be putting material in there, putting the labs and creating material. So as we go along.
Is that not possible at the moment?
On when?
The existing systems.
No.
Is that not possible? You can't modify those systems. So it really limits you.
But we're not running away from that because that is not far away from what we want to build on anyway. So if we give you all 4 of the resources in there, we can always chop down.
What if
rescale it?
We had all 4 servers as a resource together in a cluster? You guys have the ultimate administrative rights.
So it'd be like that anyway?
Yeah, I know, but
we will have to have a right to it, regardless, because of the monitoring, we're going to do other stuff and other stuff in there. Whether we would and how we would use it would be another thing. We wouldn't be sabotaging anything.
These 4 servers, they were originally bought. What were they originally bought for?
They were bought for that purpose. Well,
for which
the order was different, but it turned out to be 4.
Yeah.
The order was slightly different. I think it was
You wanted to order more.
Yeah.
More. There would be
We
doable
got
for
4.
this.
Am I right in thinking that effectively you guys have been forced to go to do they call it preferred supplier? And originally the cost of the servers for the college, I think you had about 60 grand to spend, and you guys have costed them a much lower cost, a couple of grand, 3-4 grand each.
It didn't quite work like that, but
A preferred supplier cost.
cutting it very short, it wasn't just preferred supplier issue. The issue was we didn't want necessarily, us two didn't want the latest thing.
No, we don't require it.
And because of some of the elements that we said, which included this, they will advise externally and internally look at it that this latest thing will be the best option forward. And to speed up the process and get things going and getting the order, we're getting this. And to be honest, when we look at the amount of storage and amount of power in terms of the cores and RAM, we're not far off.
No.
It isn't far off. It's just we would go instead of smaller number, we would go larger number and obviously consolidation that way.
Yeah.
But whichever way you look at it, they both have a positive and negative. And these 4 could possibly work better now for us if we're going that route than the model that we were proposing in the first. So it's kind of working better for us.
So would you guys be able to integrate your needs into that base cluster? Could you work on that system? If you were working on a Linux with a HDFS, would you be able to manage all the resources that you required for the other students in lesson time? on that cluster?
Well, this is what I'm saying, this maps fair bit in what we were thinking. So what we would have to do is readdress, replan, and work on things, because what Matthew and I were planning is to do some stuff now, in the very early stages of tenure, so to say, and then get students who are interested in doing this as a project and work with them to work on that. So if you two are going to work on this as a project, we could put also resources technically together on there and work on that. This is why I was asking for the scale.
It might be that
this is our final year
might be part in this as well.
Yes,
That's what I'm saying.
but we need to provide opportunity for other students in there
For them to get
bring
involved in this.
bring them in.
Well, ideally, yeah.
Rather than, all right, you two might be in charge and things like
Yeah,
that.
well,
I
Other students
actually
can
don't
get
want to be.
involved
I
as
want to do the actual hardware build and do all some of the hardware and stuff.
Yes.
But in terms of doing the administration, I actually want to be involved in doing my application development for the next to the end of next year.
Yeah.
That's where my hat is. If somebody else is left, or a team of students is left to do that administration closely with you guys, that'd be perfect. It just takes the pressure off me. Having to administer.
Well, what we don't want to do
those things all the
is
time.
we don't want to put anybody under any pressure.
No.
We want to take a decent academic year to build, but build on something that can be built even further.
Yeah, absolutely.
So technically, I don't see this 4 machines being based here at all.
You don't see 2 downstairs.
I see them being now based downstairs, and then just feed the 1 or 2 point links in here.
All 4
whatever we
machines
need.
downstairs.
Well, technically we could. There's no reason why, because everything else is done over the.
What would be the advantages?
The advantage of that is, A, we could probably control better in terms of
Environment.
turning them off. So we wouldn't need to watch this whether it's turned off on. So down there will be turned on all the time, nobody could mess with that.
Okay.
And students from outside, if they're doing remote, wouldn't be interrupted. You know, we can't take the responsibility of constantly saying at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, come on guys, leave, we need to check that all the nodes, all the things are on and that kind of stuff.
The management system automatically do that. When it provisions it, it
The
will
management
automatically.
system, yeah, no, but you could have a management system turned
It's
off.
actually quite complex to configure like that. It is, but it will self-assess. That's the idea of Hadoop.
But
It will
this is
self-assess
Yeah,
what's working, what's not, where things are going, what's not happening, what is happening, is the power, is the not, is the temperature. It will assess everything, essentially.
it's true, but even that is being controlled by something.
Yeah, it's
And the power.
essentially a script. I mean,
No, but power,
for Hadoop,
power button.
you can do it where it will shut down. Just, put it into standby effectively. So if you've got 6 nodes and you're only using 4, it will take 2 of the nodes out because it doesn't require power and heat, and you can tell it to do
You
that.
need a switch on top.
Yeah,
Switch on top is here.
yeah,
Everything else is in there is
downstairs.
removed
Yeah,
from physical contact. One, creates noise,
yeah,
heat,
yeah.
all the other cooling, everything down there is appropriate cooling system, everything in place. But this is a long plan. This is not planned for us to just put it straight away down there. Once it's here, once it's working for a certain period of time, and we've got our portal that works and everything, that portal can be accessed from here anyway.
Yeah.
We can control it.
Where the physical hardware is essentially in 6 months' time is
It's
almost
irrelevant.
irrelevant. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the point. So students, what we don't want to do is too much of don't touch this, you know, constantly. When you come in here in the lab, you will be able to do whatever you want to get the learning done.
Well, if the cluster itself is only in a single locked cabinet that we have access to, for, say, a 6 month period, 3 months period, or whatever you just kind of designate, that not be safe enough? You guys have the keys, so nobody can tamper with the hardware directly,
That
or very easily.
that for first part is certainly acceptable because we're running here as a pilot environment and getting things that's working and get it working to a level that's acceptable.
Is it the case that once you've kind of piloted it, proved the concept that it works
Yeah.
for you guys,
Yeah.
then you would move it to a more secure location downstairs where it's kind of less
Well,
vulnerable
then
to...
you don't need that
No.
interaction, don't need that noise, don't need that power, don't need anything else. So there's defeats the objective of having it necessarily in here, if that makes sense.
So, essentially what you're saying, are you agreeing to giving us a couple of service?
Let's see. Service has been purchased for that, so if you guys want to utilise it for that, absolutely, definitely, I don't see an issue.
Use all four.
Should we have a discussion and see, because we had such a plan before, very similar to what they are proposing.
Yeah.
We did discuss that.
Yeah.
Shall we go and discuss further and come back?
What would add to it is, like I said earlier, each node can be dropped off. Suppose we, over the next 8 weeks to September, we did a 4-node cluster, improved the concept, it's working fine and everything. When you guys want to kind of requisition another couple of servers, say in September, and then do whatever you need to do with that, it's easy to do. It's easy. You know, well, rather than the servers just being stood idle, 2 of them idle for the next 2 months.
And you knowing that they are idle and you can't.
That would drive me crazy.
That's your
Because that hardware is sitting there doing nothing. It's just, yeah.
It's not doing nothing.
It's collecting dust.
No,
It's
in the box.
a climate
It's in a box.
temperature.
It needs 6 weeks climatization process. Incubation. No, I don't see that being a problem.
That'd be a great start for us.
I don't see that being a problem.
I reckon in about 8 weeks, I reckon we can get that up and running to a reasonable standard. And then when you guys say, right, now we need to do something different, or we need to alter this, or move it downstairs, it's not a problem. That's easy to do. So, we just want to really use the hardware, use our time for the next 8 weeks solidly. And we can't do, like on the other side of the board, doing the extra certification. I don't think that's going to happen. You guys are fine.
You're not going to do set. That's
No,
for sure.
no.
Forget that.
Right, so that's fine.
Yeah,
So,
security,
for those
actually pen testing, forget that one as well.
Yeah.
Security is a possibility.
possible.
That's not a possibility.
But if we can get these ideas up and running, and then like when we're recording it, we're doing the vlogs now and stuff like that, we're recording what we do, what we've done this morning, how we move things about, and then as the weeks go by, if you guys are in and out on holiday, we can come to you and go, we're at this stage, what would you suggest? Where do you think we are? What do you think we should do next? You know, would this be appropriate in these circumstances? Would you be accepting of this or that? And then we can kind of work kind of together synchronously and get what we want out of that hardware, because it's limited. I know the college really doesn't have any money. You know, it's just practically bankrupt. Well, it's worse than bankrupt. But, so everybody needs a share of that hardware.
College is currently climbing a pretty steep mountain.
Steep.
Yeah.
It's more of a hover without rope.
Well, you
And
watch
greasy
the movie
Kelsey
Hunger.
Craig.
Yeah, it is, yeah. It's over a scree field.
Right. Right, okay. So-
You guys need to know that.
We do seriously, I think,
I've got some more
we're
questions.
going to be pressurized.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh,
Yeah, by the way.
You mentioned you were using set up in there, the i7s, and you said that they were a bit unreliable.
The i7s are fine. The thing about a Hadoop cluster is that we'll use standard machine. Any old machine it will do. It's really good at that. That's what it was designed, so you can use, you know, off the shelf kind of computer hardware. That's what its great strength is. So you can mix and match all sorts of different hardware and utilise those resources as in parallel. That's the brilliance of it. That's the absolute brilliance. When we use the G5s, they just fall over all the time. I mean, I've tried to swap the RAM in and out. I've changed the processors. I've used the, you know, the heat sink paste and all those kind of things to get them to just function properly. And they're almost there. They tick along, but they're so old that they're of no.
So when you were talking about unreliable, you weren't talking about the i7?
No, the i7s.
So your
Fairly
the
okay.
concept was okay, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
if you
It allowed us.
built that there and it was unreliable, my next question was what makes you think
No,
using
that's
4
reliable.
of those brand new Gen 10s is going to give you success?
The i7
concept worked with the i7.
Yeah,
Right,
it works
okay.
fine and it's lovely and stable. Because particularly because it's all on the same hardware, and we can modify, you know, some elements of the BIOS and stuff like that to make it that way. So it works really well and they're really stable. And we think probably is it the X420s or 240s downstairs? I think we've tried a couple of them. they are. And they're stable as well with the Xeon processors. They're really stable. And it runs and purrs like a kitten. It's really good. It's a question of if we're really doing some